Well, so what are we gonna do today, Cousin PW?
The same thing we do every day, Melvin. Try to take over the neighborhood.
Hey y'all, Bloodwing here. This video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to forego my normal intro and going to give Cousin Melvin the day off, at least for this video, because I wanted to be a little bit serious on my thoughts and honestly just not in the mood to fool with it right now. I've only just woken up. Unless you live under a rock, you're probably well aware of the whole Bearing thing, of his channel getting shut down and all of that. This all started for me yesterday at about 10 a.m. when my buddy Danny DeDingo got his channel shut down. Now, I'm just a puny little channel of 142 subscribers. Not much I can do, but I tried to do what I could, tried to bring attention to it. He got his channel back, thankfully. Then right after that, it seems that Bearing got his channel shut down. And by the way, listening to the noise in the background, I apologize. This is why I normally record only at night, but you're probably going to hear grandkids and people fussing at them and stuff in the background. They're home from school and they're rowdy as heck. So I apologize for that, but bear with me. So anyway, with the Bearing deal, I actually, like I said, it started for me about 10 a.m. yesterday, and I stuck through it through the whole Bearing deal, being on Twitter, being on YouTube, being on Minds, doing whatever my puny little butt could do, which is probably not much, but I was willing to try. I've done some snooping. I wasn't the first to come up with the identity of the person that actually caused the strike by contacting the company that owned the rights. Fresh TV and Netflix was contacted over and over a period of time, although I was among some of the first because I remembered seeing their post. As far as I know, I was the first that happened across their Twitter account that gave the evidence that indeed they were the one that caused this. But you know, that doesn't matter. I just was doing what I could, and about, I don't know, 5 o'clock this morning, I finally gave up. Wasn't able to go to bed until well after 7 in the morning, and by the time I crashed, I slept all day. And here I am. As soon as I wake up, Bearing's back. Yay. I am elated. I'm glad they got it worked out. But I've seen some fallout from people supposedly on, quote, our side of the internet, unquote. And I want to address that. And first I want to say that I respect everyone's opinion. Everyone's opinion. You have a right to it, for sure. But I also have a right to disagree. Now, the first thing I seen was a video by a fellow by the name of Uzalu. I'm probably butchering that like the dickens, and I apologize to you if I am. I'm aware of this person. I've just never watched him, so I'm unsure how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. I can't speak for everyone else. I can only speak for me. And for me, it was not a knee-jerk reaction. From the very beginning, I suspicioned it was about his avatar. And yes, Bearing broke a copyright. There's no denying that. And I can remember thinking months ago, man, I'm surprised he doesn't change this avatar. Because a lot of people always bring up how it looks like the one on Total Drama Island, and I'm surprised he didn't change it a long time ago. But that's really neither here nor there. He broke the copyright, no doubt about it. What it's always been for me like I said, it's not been knee-jerk, is the way that YouTube handled the whole situation. How one strike became three. How it was an instant takedown with no dialogue at all between this company and Behring, or between YouTube and Behring, and none of these things. And I wish my phone would quit alerting if you can hear that in the background. But at any rate, it's always been about that for me, the way it was handled, the way he was not given a chance. Liz Reptile already brought up a very valid point. Back when Suit Yourself started, he was using the Archer character, and when the company that made Archer contacted him, there was dialogue, and he was given time to change it without a channel takedown. That's the issue. Not whether or not Behring deserved a copyright strike, because obviously he did. But it's about the way that it was handled. And if they can do this to the size of Behring, what's going to happen to puny little channels like mine? To the little guys? And there's a lot of us coming up that's growing. I could name off dozens and dozens, and I won't take your time with that. But what if it happens to us? We don't have the backup that Behring has. We don't have the subscriber base to go on YouTube and to go on Twitter and to make hashtags to free us, to draw attention to us. We don't have that. And the best we might be able to hope for is maybe try to get the attention on Twitter or Minds or whatever of a larger content creator that might help us out. You know, Behring was able to get his channel back. I can't help but think that part of that was because he's a bigger channel, which he's going to get more attention. Thus the hashtag free Behring and all of that. But a little guy like us goes down, who's going to notice? So it's scary to me that YouTube can just arbitrarily, or a company can just arbitrarily come into YouTube and get our channel shut down with no dialogue and no explanation. That is completely uncool and, I might add, unethical. So no, it wasn't a knee-jerk. It was about the handling of it. You will go all over Twitter and you won't find me defending his use of copyrighted material. Also seen some tweets by Ms. Blair White, whom I respect a great deal. I really do. I respect you and I respect your opinion. And you have a right to that opinion. And I get it. He used copyrighted material. But again, that's not what this was ever about. Yeah, maybe some people in our, quote, area of the internet, unquote, went overboard with it and went all crazy and whatnot. But for most of us, we were level-headed about it, realized what it was probably about, and realized that it stunk that this company and YouTube was able to take him down without so much as a by your leave. You know, it's not about the copyright. Behring broke copyright. He did, and has all along. Thankfully, he's going to get a chance to fix that. But before he got his channel back, the fear was with all the rest of us, and many of us being smaller channels, what's going to constitute copyright? Or what if some moron like this ASDFX CXV, God, what a name, can hardly say it with false teeth. What's going to stop them from attacking one of us? And we won't have the resources available to us that Behring has. We don't have the fan base. We don't have the popularity. We won't have the hashtags. So to us, Behring became a symbol of freedom, of suppression of speech. Because I don't care how you slice it, that's what this was about. And if you don't believe me, go look at the feminist channels such as Tim. And I'm going to make a video on Tim. I ain't forgot you, Tim, and I hope you hear that. Come at me, bro. I'm a little channel, but I got thick skin, buddy. You can't scare me off like you claim Bering does to everybody else. But I don't want to get off on that tangent because I'll get really angry. And Christiosity and the rest of that bunch and their antics on Twitter while this was going on, and they're just acting like gleeful little children, glad that a person lost their job. Do you make it a habit to go out and laugh at people when they lose their job? Really? Are you that despicable of a human being? I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy. And most of the people that I know on this side wouldn't. We don't want anybody shut down. We just want our right to tell you that you're stupid. That's it. That's all there is to it. So, yeah, guys, this was never about the copyright. It was never knee-jerk. It was all about the fear that us smaller content creators, if this happened to us, we're gone. We can't get it back. We got to start over. You know? And it's took me almost 3 months to get to my 142 subscribers. And I love every one of them, and I'm totally, absolutely appreciative of every one of them. And I'm actually moving faster than I ever thought I would. I really did. I didn't think anybody would want to listen to my old butt ramble on the internet. But they do. And I'm glad they do. And I'm still growing. And maybe one of these days, with a little luck and a few shout outs here and there and some collaborations and whatnot and continually good content, maybe I'll be as big as Bering. Maybe I won't. But what is somebody like me going to do if it happens to me? It would have it's setting a precedent, and that's what it's about. It's not knee-jerk. It's not about the copyright notices. You know, the two people that I've mentioned, I respect you, and I'm not saying come at me, bro. I'm not mad at you. I'm not coming after you. You have a right to your opinion, and I understand your opinion. I actually agree with it to the most part. Bering had it coming. He should have seen it coming and should have handled it before it got to this point. But that's really not the issue here. And all of you know it. You know it. If YouTube does this to somebody as big as Bering, with no explanation and no word, then the rest of us are screwed. We just don't have a chance. Now, I'm migrating over to Minds. I've been on Minds for quite a while now. I went to Minds as soon as Dave Cullen started giving it shout-outs on his channel. I've been there for quite a while, and there's quite a few of us that are over there. But they don't have monetization yet. And no, I don't do this for the money, but it, you know, old Bloodwing's pretty daggum poor. We live hand to mouth here in this household. You know, as soon as my wife's paycheck comes in, because I'm disabled, but because disability has been so abused in my country, I'm unable to claim it. I keep trying, but they keep turning me down, even though my claim is every bit legitimate. It's because the do-nothings have abused it so much over the years that now it's worse than trying to pull teeth. So we live hand to mouth. We don't have much money. That's why I use an Xbox 360 Rock Band mic. And that's not a joke. Some of you have seen me, and some have seen the picture. It's no joke. And I don't see any change to that anytime soon. I just can't afford better equipment. So till then, I have to do with what I got. And if my sound's a little crappy, I'm sorry. But I do the best with it that I can. But, and maybe I'm getting off on a side tangent here. I don't know. But the thing I wanted to get across is that I get that Bering, in part, brought it on himself. He brought the attention. It doesn't excuse that ASDFXCXV, who apparently has some kind of bug up his butt about the Berings, because from what I could find, he'd had some run-ins with Sugar Tits back in March, and before that was Shoe on Head. And then he was claiming to be MGTOW. Now he's claiming to be feminist, which is quite the jump from one extreme to the other. I think the person is just mental. They have mental issues, is all it is. And they done this for attention. And they thought that if they could pull this off, they could get the attention of Christy Winters and Michael Rowlands and Tim and Christiosity and that whole bunch. And yeah, he got their attention. I'm curious to know if they're giving him a pat on the back for it. Because it was none of his daggum business, and he didn't do it because he cared about the copyright. He done it because he had a hard-on for Bering and thought shutting him down will get him some sort of attention. And we all know that's the reason. If any of you, Tim or Christiosity or Christy or Michael Rowlands or any of that bunch, had an ounce of integrity, you would come out in videos, on Twitter, whatever, YouTube, whatever format you choose, and come out against what this person did and make it clear. That is, if you can get off the floor laughing about a man losing his job. Disgusting. Anyway, I've ranted long enough, and I won't take any more of your time. But I wanted to clear this up, folks. And I couldn't do it on Twitter. There's too little of a character limit. You can't get your point across there. And I could have done it on Minds and transported it over. But I thought it's just as easy for me to make a quick video. So, there's my thoughts. You can disagree with me if you like. Do so down in the comments down below if you want to. But there you are. This is what it's really been about from the time it started, at least for those of us that had any sense. And as always, get out of my yard.